Accu-Stats Video Productions presents from the Executive West Hotel in Louisville, Kentucky, the 2002 Derby City Classic. Along with Danny Diliberto, I'm Bill Incardona. Danny, this feature matchup this evening slates two of the finest players there are. Keith McCready from Bellflower, California. His opponent, Ralf Souquet. They call him the Kaiser, and he's one of the best players in the world today. He's from Germany.
And we have an extreme contrast here because we have a serious, like surgical kind of player like Ralf Souquet, and then we got an entertaining clown of a person, Keith McCready.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. It is a contrast of styles, but nonetheless effective. Both players are extremely good players. I mean, I'm talking about upper echelon players, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this match go hill-hill.
And it's going to be very entertaining for sure.
Souquet is at the table now, finishing in his warm-up. We'll work our way to the booth, and we'll join him in just a moment. Okay, Danny, we're in the booth now. Ralf the Kaiser Souquet and Keith the General McCready. Well, actually, it's Ether. What other nicknames does he go by?
No, here. Oh, the best one. What was the Evil?
Evo, that's what
Evil.
He is.
That's what his name. Remember, Evil Knievel.
Evo.
They call him Evo.
He is such an entertaining player, you know.
Oh,
and I'll tell you something. If he can get a little flashback here about the way he used to play at one time, we're going to be thoroughly entertained.
Derby City Classic, presented by Diamond Billiards Products, makers of the world's finest pool tables. And the Accu-Stats feature matchup table brought to you by Sardo Tight Rack. Other co-sponsors include Predator Cues, Tiger Tips, Tip Pick, BilliardsExpress.com, Airmid Balls, and Simonis Cloth. Our first player is one of the most legendary matchup players of all time, considered by many to be the best in the world at one time. He's a former BC Open champion, Lexington Open champion, Richmond Open champion. He's famous for his masterful role as Grady Seasons in the motion picture The Color of Money. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Earthquake, Keith McCready. And his opponent, sponsored by Simonis Cloth, Sardo Tight Rack, and Joss Hughes. He's the #1 ranked player in Europe and is considered by many to be the best European player right now. He won a camel stop in Charlotte, North Carolina. He was the runner-up in last year's World Championships. He's ranked in the top 10 in the world right now, and he is a former World 9-ball champion. Ladies and gentlemen, from Manching, Germany, a warm welcome for the Kaiser, Ralf Souquet.
Now, Ralf Souquet is really a fine player. He won the U.S. Straight Pool title last year, or I think it was the year before in New York. We did commentary, and we were there, Accu-Stats, that is. And he's really, like Danny said, a very deliberate, methodical player. He's not going to give anything away, and Keith is really going to be hard-pressed to defeat him. He better be at the top of his game.
And most of all, Ralf Souquet is a fine gentleman. Look at this lag. Look at this lag. Keith win it. Good lag. We're seeing all good lags, though, like you pointed out in the last match. They're all very close. Anyway, Keith, he entertains me. I mean, I still watch him. I watch very few people play, like, you know, after these matches. But I watch Keith. He really entertains me. And, you know, he is happy as a lark right now to be in center ring. He treasures center ring.
Yeah, he's definitely a player that performs well in these types of conditions.
For the crowd.
Yeah.
He plays to the crowd. Well, he didn't make the ball in the break that time. Looked up at us. Not our fault, Keith. Not our fault. Grin. Look at Keith. Look at Keith. Yeah, we got to flash to him now and then because he's so filled with animation.
Whatever he has offered to him is not much, but I don't think there's really a good safety here. It looks like he'll be trying to cut the one in and going toward the two. It's really a a very difficult shot to shoot from this position.
You mean shoot to pocket it?
I almost think he almost has to do that.
No, I don't think so.
He doesn't have a reasonable safe here.
He doesn't? How about if he cuts the one, and, you know, it's tough to overcut it. How about if he cuts the one and goes one rail right at the 2? He's got the 3, 4, 8, and 7.
That's
4 and 7.
That's a real good shot there.
Yeah, I think he can do that. I mean, he's close enough to do that. I don't see any good shooting it straight on and sticking. I think if he fans it and aims at the 2, he's got a wall of balls to get him with. Now, can he play both hands? It's starting to look like he can. He can't reach it real well left-handed, it looks like. But he looks like he is coordinated shooting left-handed. He doesn't look real orphan.
He's going to lose the 1 ball here with this shot, it looks like.
Yeah, he just didn't want to do anything extra. He just wanted to snook him with the 7, but he left the edge. So now he has to face what he was trying to do to Keith.
Oh, that was a very poor effort there.
He jumped up. He miscued. He's looking at the stick, but that's a backer move. You know, when you miscue and a shot and you hit it real bad, first thing you got to do with a backer is look at the tip and blame the tip.
I kind of like cue ball 1 cushion, 2 cushions in toward the balls.
And the 1 did not find its way through anything, and Keith is now confronted with a kick. He might make the 9 ball on this shot. Well, he didn't quite hit the 9, but look at this shot. Look at this return kick.
Oh, he's happy with that.
Oh, he's got to be ecstatic. He might have trouble hitting this at all. I mean, maybe 2 rails, but he'll have to jack up a little bit or it'll go too long.
Even if he hits this area here, going 2 cushions, it figures it will fall short of the mark.
Except if he jacks up and gets a little bit of draw on the ball. That will make it come off sharper. So if he's going 2 rails, he's going to have to jack up. A high ball will go short. Well, he's not jacking up, and he hit the ball right on the nose.
Well, the angle that he had there at the table was much easier to feel than ours, Danny.
Right.
So therefore, he opted to shoot it and level off, and he had no problem hitting the 1.
Well, the thing we were right about, it was a 2-railer.
Keith should just stop the cue ball where the 2 is, which he's done. He's never had a problem pocketing balls, so distance really isn't a foe.
Yeah, he stepped up to a pretty decent layout. Maybe the 7 to the 8 is the toughest. 6 to the 7 is the next toughest.
Right. The 5 to the 6 was also something he had to be concerned with because he couldn't afford ending up on the other side of the 5, which
he's
he
not
obviously
going to like
didn't.
this. Well, he's all right.
Well, that's fine. He's
fine.
Yeah, he'll draw to the center of the table, and then he'll possibly play this in 2 different ways. You know, I kind of like playing the 8 underneath him now to his left, but he could swing 2 cushions and play the 8 in the same pocket.
Yeah, I don't think he could have got over there where you were talking about. The angle became too extreme. So,
but what I meant was I prefer playing the angle on the 7 to drop in back of the 8 for position on lower left-hand corner.
Well, he looked great until he got to the 8, and he rushed the stroke. It was a horrible stroke. Horrible. He didn't stay down on the ball. He didn't take any practice strokes. He just got up and 1.5 stroked it and never had any chance to make the ball.
And he actually has given Ralf Souquet a gift, and if he expects to get a gift in return later in the match, well, he'll be waiting an awfully long time for that gift because Souquet really doesn't give many gifts away on the table.
Oh, he'll take advantage of that.
Game number 1 goes to the Kaiser, who leads in this match, race to 7, 1-0.
I have a little question. The only thing may get Keith is the importance of the match and the table. I mean, he's on the Accu-Stats table. I don't know when the last time he was on this particular table being Accu-Statted. I mean, could someone tell me that?
Oh, I don't remember either because Keith has been absent from the tour, if you can call this a tour, which
Right.
really we don't have one.
Right.
But, you know, when there was a tour several years ago, he still wasn't on the Accu-Stats table for quite some time. He made very, you know, seldom he came to tournaments and made brief appearances.
Yeah, well,
1991, I was just informed by Pat Fleming, is the last time we had Keith McCready. Under the cameras.
And he looked at net rack. You know, he was running around making the balls, but he didn't. He looked a little shaky. I mean, am I right? I mean, he.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, he looks a little tentative.
And I think it's a little bit of stage fright, even for McCready, who relishes moments like this.
Yeah.
I think he's a lot of adrenaline flowing right now. It's working against him, so he's going to have to gather himself, because the next time he's at the table, he's got to perform a little bit better, and he's certainly got to be a little more relaxed.
Well, anyway, you know, he's basically a money player, and he could play for 20,000 and hold up super. A thing like this is more pressure than playing for money. You know, I found over the years, tournaments are much tougher than playing for money. Don't you agree?
Well, I've never have been a tournament player. You know,
Yeah.
when I was playing my best, I was never a tournament player, because back then, you know, there weren't very many tournaments.
Yeah, but you won the 9-ball title in '72, Billy. And you played pretty well then.
And he should just pinch this and stay around the area where the 2 is.
You're going to be modest, you know. I said you won the '72 World 9-ball title. You want to be modest now.
Well, thank you, Danny.
That's not becoming of you, Billy. Well, anyway, what is he going to do here now? He just, no English, just go forward and get an angle on the 4 to get closer to the 5. Now, where do you want to be on the 5? You know, because, well, something like this, maybe closer to the 5 and an angle like that, right? Go one rail to
right
the 6.
in the center of the table. That's where he needs to be.
Yes. Oh, by the way, you know, he's from Germany, right? He's from Germany.
Yes, he is.
Do you know what they call English in Germany?
No, I don't.
Grease. They're putting grease on the ball. And the word is fetten. That means grease, and that's what they call it. He's putting grease on the ball.
And that's exactly what he's giving McCready right now, the grease.
Well,
He has to hit this nice and clean, or he's not going to pocket it, because the pocket will not accept it. A little flat. He shouldn't like the angle that he's left with here. He's a little flat, so he may even go forward.
Well, like we said about Ralph, he takes advantage. Now, how much so, we're going to find out. You know, Keith really got punished now 2 games because he gave that first game away. He was supposed to win that first game. He gave it away. Now he's been punished 2 games, and it's not over yet.
It certainly isn't. And Ralf Souquet, the Kaiser, Europe's #1 rated player, takes a 2-0 lead in this race to 7. The Kaiser, there he is. He's really a calm guy.
Yes, he is.
I watched him play in the U.S. Open straight pool tournament, which he went on to win that tournament in New York City.
Look at him. I mean, he always looks serious. He doesn't look happy, and, you know. And look at this. He is checking the Sardo rack. He's so used to gambling and checking the opponent's racking that he is checking the Sardo rack that racks him the same all the time.
I think we should have him mic'd up, actually. You know?
Yeah,
I would love to have him mic'd up. You know,
Sure.
that would be the ultimate there. Oh, he was unaware
Oh, he just found it out.
of
That's
how
right.
they were racking the balls. The 9 ball is now being racked on the foot spot instead of the 1. So evidently, you know, he was unaware of it, and he questioned the, you know,
That
the
is
rack.
really cute. But you know what? How would he know? He wasn't in Virginia when we used it, and he came. Well, you know, there's no way for him to know this. So all of a sudden, he thought Sardo was putting the rack on him. You know, he's racking him that far. He went over to him and said,
Yeah, he
"They're a little high."
No, he probably says, "No, I'm not going for this."
No, he said they're a little high.
No,
there.
he said, "I'm not going for this."
That's both good remarks, Billy. They're a little high. They're 3 balls high. Well, I'll tell you what, though. It's pretty observant of him.
I don't know how to take that. Whether 3 balls high, how observant do you have to be? Okay, his very first shot off the break is going to be a difficult one, Danny. Not only in pocketing the ball, but also coming up with a shot on the 2.
Well, it's, again, that one shot that if you make, you're out. Look how nicely he hit that.
Wow, so he rolled that real softly into the pocket. From the distance that he was away from the 1, I'd have to say that was really a beautifully executed shot.
I got to say something about the diamond table now. You know, when you shoot a shot like that, 8 feet away, and you roll it, it's a testament of how well the diamond table is playing, because if that ball rolled off 1/8 of an inch, he would have missed the ball.
It's a testament to how well the table was playing only if you make it, because every time you miss it, you always say, oh, it rolled off.
That's another backer move. Yeah.
In the meantime, nothing is rolling off for the Kaiser. This is the 3rd consecutive rack that he's been at the table and has run out. And I'm not trying to put the cart before the horse, but the balls are positioned so nicely on the table, Danny. I don't foresee any problems here.
All Keith's doing, you know, he's getting punished for missing that ball. And, you know, it's, again, how much will he be punished? So far, it looks like it's going to be 3. I would bet on him getting out, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, he should get a straight-in angle on the 7. That angle will probably be the best angle for him to attain, a straight angle on the 7, and then he'll just play the 8 in the opposite corner. The position of the 9 on the foot spot is going to be a problem ball if he doesn't end up with a straight-in angle, possibly. Okay, now he's come down the table. He may play the 8 in the same pocket because he's close enough to the 7 with a fairly good angle to just naturally roll across in between the 8 and the 9.
Really, I like this better because that prevents the cue ball from freezing on the rail if you happen to get straight in.
No question about it. It's a better angle, but it's much more difficult for him to judge the speed from the 6 to the 7 and come up with that good angle like that. It was much easier for him to just get straight in and just cinch the 7, roll down for the 8. But if he has a good touch like the Kaiser does, if you have a good touch like he does, then possibly you choose to play the route he has chosen. That's game number, I do believe, 3.
3, yeah.
And it's Souquet, 3. McCready is yet to come to the table after he missed the 8.
Well, Ralf Souquet, like Buddy Hall, tries to fall on the right side of the ball all the time, which means you pocket the ball and you automatically fall on the next ball with the angle for the next ball. That is falling on the right side of the ball, and this guy, along with Buddy, may be best at that.
Yeah, well, there's no question about it. Souquet is really a technician when he's at the table. Matter of fact, his entire life is so organized. And, you know, he's the Kaiser.
The Kaiser. Well, you know, the Kaiser is a great German word, but every time you say the Kaiser, you know, I think of K. Kaiser. You remember K. Kaiser's College of Musical Knowledge? He had the orchestra and the comedy and all that. It was a great show. But that's what I think of the Kaiser.
The last time Ralph broke the balls, he made the wing ball. The wing ball that went in, it was the 3 ball on this side of the rack. Watch for the wing ball on this side going into the corner, straight in. Once again, it went in. Straight in. And that wasn't happening a little while ago, Danny, the last match on this feature table. And you made comment to that, and you say sometimes when you break the balls, you pocket the wing ball, and sometimes you don't. It depends on humidity and other factors.
Some little thing must be a factor, because this rack proves that. This rack, day in, day out, hundreds of matches, thousands of games, they're racked the same. So how come sometimes the end ball starts flying right in, and then you might go 2 hours and never make it? You know, it's some little thing, like you say, in the air, little humidity, something changes it suddenly.
I also think it's largely due to the point of contact where the cue ball hits the 1, too.
Well, there's no doubt about that, but I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that they're hitting close to the same target on the 1 ball if they're having success. You know, you change that hit if nothing's going, but if they're going, I think they're hitting pretty close to the same.
Okay, let's take a look at the layout, Danny. The 2 and the 4 in the same pocket. The 5 underneath where he is shooting now. The 6 obviously in the side, but all of a sudden we come to a little problem area with the 7 and the 8. What's the best angle for him to end up in on the 6 to drop nicely for the 7?
I think you have to try to go either. There's two things. I like going for the combination. You know, where the 6 is, it wouldn't be too tough to get to a combination 7, 8. Or if you got pretty good on the 6, you might try to split the 7 and 8 off of the 6. But the less gamble is fall on that combination good. It looks pretty straight.
I think there's a lot of room to the right of the 7 that he can end up in to play the 7.
Oh, well, that's another thing then. If he can,
he's going to walk around the table now. He's going to take a look at it. He's going to see where he has to be and where he cannot go any further. He cannot go any further than where he is now for position on the 7. Now he'll make his decision whether or not he likes it or not. If he doesn't like it, he still has the angle to draw for the combination.
Okay, now this would be a case of when you're running the balls, you want an easy shot on that 7. If he can do this and get a decent easy shot, now is he going to hit the 8 when he makes the 7?
I don't think so. He's going to cut the 7 thinly enough, and he should apply a little bit of left-hand English on the cue ball, not to hit the 8.
Left-hand grease.
No, that's what he's giving McCready.
No, he's got to put left-hand fat on the 7 so that it gives him a bigger target and you know, he's in line more. He could have hit that, and if he came off perpendicular, he would have been out of line in 8 inches. Instead, he lengthened the path the cue ball went with a little left-hand English. That's a good shot for you people to practice.
Now, considering the angle that he's left himself with, I look for the cue ball to go straight toward the 9. So he's going to have to apply a little English, either left or right, to change the course. Okay, this is rack number 4. McCready missed the 8 in rack number 1, and he hasn't made an appearance back at the table. If Souquet pockets the 9 here, he will then extend his lead in this match and erase the 7, 4-0. So we're really not getting the entertainment that we anticipated in this match because McCready has yet to come back to the table. So Ralph is kind of like, you know.
I was thinking just that. You know, before the match started and Pat Fleming said we're doing Ralf Souquet and Keith McCready, I said, oh, God, please let Keith get enough chances to get at the table. I don't think he can beat Ralf Souquet, but let him get enough innings to entertain. You know, that's going to be his thing. Well, he's had a few of them. Wait, here he goes. He's checking the rack. I don't know. He doesn't like it. No, he's all right.
Well, he has to make it, you know.
Look at his face.
He says he's made the corner ball 3 times in a row. I'm not going for this, you know, and you really can't blame him.
But the Zardo rack isn't going to change anything.
Now look for the 6th ball. That's the ball on the wing.
And it's green.
On the left side of the table, the way Souquet is breaking from. And
right
once again, right again. And he's going to get a shot on the 1.
I don't know. Yeah, he does have a cut. Oh, look at this. He makes this and falls on the 2.
Well, carries natural position for the 2.
But you got to have the right speed because it's fairly thin. You know, you're not going to be able to give it that real good confident stroke with a little zip to it and make sure you hit the target right. He's going to have to like semi-roll this. He can't shoot.
No, he's going to go 2 cushions, Danny.
Okay, and what Billy is pointing out there is when you go 2 cushions, you can shoot harder. And that gives you more confidence pocketing the ball because the cue ball is going to travel further yet wind up in the same point.
Yeah, if you roll a ball opposed to hitting with a little more speed, you lose a little bit of accuracy. I look for him to apply a little left-hand English on this shot, going 2 cushions toward the 2.
This is not what I call a gimme.
No, it's not a gimme, but he shouldn't have any problem pocketing this.
Yes, yes. I knew it was a little problem, Billy.
Well, for that man right there, that was really an unexpected miss.
Well, here's
Now,
what I always say. See, he didn't leave him a clear shot, and Keith was like a little disgusted. He has to hit the rail first and all that. But if you're playing Ralf Souquet, and if that one falls, you're dead, you shouldn't care.
Oh, look at this shot, Danny. Look at this. What a beautiful shot this was.
That was excellent. That was excellent.
Excellent shot. And if he can get rolling and get in gear, you know, this 4-0 lead that the Kaiser has been able to accumulate here.
No.
Well, he can come off the 9, hit the bottom cushion and back up table. It looks like that's what he's going to have to do.
Does he know that?
Oh, he went high, which is even better, but he's gone past the mark. And now he's going to have to come with a shot here, Danny. Cross side will probably give him natural position for the 5.
I think he's going to cut at it. I think he's going to cut at it. And if he does, he'll have the... Oh, no, you were right. Look at this shot. He didn't take long either.
Drawing straight back is probably the best route here. Trying to get in back of the 7 a little bit. Well, he didn't get back far enough.
He needed, yeah, a little more angle would have made it easy, but he's got enough to do it.
Now the corner pocket comes into play, but he stroked it really nicely. And all of a sudden, he's ended up straight in on the 8. This is something that, you know, didn't figure to happen, but it did.
But in the truth, the whole rack, he lost the cue ball and didn't fall on the balls good. Why should he suddenly fall good on the 8? He missed it.
No, he's all right. That's yeah. He hit it with great speed.
That's what made it go. That same shot hitting there with speed would have never went. So Keith mustered up some heart, which he's always had, and he is now in the game.
After game number 5, the Kaiser has 4 games. McCready, trying to get back into it, has 1. But so many times we've seen Keith face detriments, you know, and has overcome them. There goes the corner ball. You know, it's one for me, one for you, one for you. But the 4 ball, I don't believe Keith has a shot on the 1.
No.
Because the 4 ball took that last quarter turn, and it doesn't look like he has a shot. So immediately he says push.
Well, anyway, I was talking about the corner ball going, and like I said, Sardo racks him the same all the time. So if it's going in for Ralph, it'll go in for Keith.
No, I don't know if Ralph's going to accept this shot. If he passes it back to Keith, this is the way Keith's going to go here. If he one in the corner, round the table, because he will not hesitate he'll definitely shoot that shot.
Ralph is not going to shoot it to play possession. If he shoots it, he has a little bit of a safe.
Well, if the 1 goes in this pocket, which he's looking to see if it goes, this carries more natural position for the 2.
I don't think he had any thought about shooting, and Keith would be wise not to shoot either. He should bank the ball, roll forward towards the 6, and bank the ball between the 8 and 9, try to get it to the end rail.
I kind of like him shooting there.
Yeah, I don't.
Because even if he misses, he's going to leave him a long shot unless he,
I don't like that. That was, and I have rules about that in my instructions, that if the shot and position are tough, both of them, look to play safe. Good
rule. The
rule.
position was natural. Wasn't anything tough about the position. It was natural. All I had to do was pocket the 1. That's why I like the shot.
Is that all? Yeah.
Yeah, that's all he did. Pocket the 1.
Super tough shot.
Well, the shot was a tough shot, but position was automatic. So therefore, if he missed the 1, he could have left him a more difficult shot.
Okay, does the 1 go by the 6? He's
looking
at
it.
Yeah.
It looks like it has a little bit of a pocket.
And that's it. If he makes the 1, there are no more problems in this game. And he made it. He shot in the side of the pocket that was totally open.
Okay, this is the correct way of playing this. 2 ball should come up here somewhere for the 4, and they're staying on this side of the table for that very difficult 5.
I think he's going to go 2 rails.
Well, I don't like going 2 rails because now he's on the wrong side of the 4.
Why is that? The 5 goes in the side.
Does it go in the side?
Sure.
Well, if the 5 goes in the side, that's okay, but I didn't think it went in the side.
Oh, yeah, it goes in the 5, in the side. Come back a little bit, and then just go 1 rail. You know, you don't have to do much with it because of where the 6 is sitting. Now, if you had to do something and have some, intricate position, then you got to get better than this. But the way the 6 is laying, he has nothing to do.
Well, since the 5 goes in the side, he made a real nifty little shot in billiarding the 8 in front of the pocket, even simplifying the run out even more.
And he did plan that, in case anyone thinks he didn't.
Now, there's a lot of room for that. I didn't think it went in the side.
Yeah. You see, now, if the 8 were still laying funny, he would have something spectacular to do with the 6. He foresaw that and knocked the 8 in a position where all he has to do is make the 6, and he's got a shot in the 8. Very, very intelligent play.
And now he just come 2 cushions toward the 9, playing the 9 in the lower left-hand corner. This is a shot that plays rather routinely. Shouldn't have any problems. 4-1 now. Souquet looking to extend it to 5-1. And that's what he's done. After 6 games, McCready trails in this match 5-1. Souquet breaking the balls in game number 7. Yeah, well, Keith's a very aggressive player, Danny, and he would have shot that shot just about every time he stepped to the table. And especially since he's behind 5-1, there's more of an urgency for him to shoot shots like that to try to get back.
Yeah, I agree with you. I may have shot it myself. I may have, but no matter what, he lost the game, and there is such a difference watching these 2 players. Ralph has like total control of the situation, and Keith is a little more wild.
Well, you said before the match started, there's a definite contrast in styles, even though that was an easy call.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Keith is a pretty offensive player. And the numbers up there, Keith McCready 850, right at world-class speed, I might add. Ralf Souquet well above world-class speed, 949, and that's playing just a real good match, 949. He didn't pocket a ball that time on the break. I don't know if there's room for him to pocket the 1 in the upper right-hand corner. If there is, it's not much.
No, I don't think he has room, because Keith has a way of grabbing the chalk if he doesn't. You see, he grabbed it real fast. I don't know if he has room. So
He's
what is he going to do?
No, he went after the one in the other corner.
Look at that shot. Huh?
Okay,
That's
he made
a pretty good shot.
Real good shot. He's going to have to make another one. Notice the position of the 3 ball. Now, the other end of the table. Now he would like to draw it back, but there's no guarantee he's going to miss the 4 when he draws it back, or he's going forward or backwards. Okay, he needs a little brush on the 8, and he didn't get it, so he's going to fall behind the 3 a little bit, and this may be a problem.
Yeah, you're right. Just because the 7 is in that path there, you're right. It got funny.
So if he could draw the cue ball
and hit the 9 maybe
in here and come this way, a lot of things good can happen for him.
I'd be aiming at the 9 for my target.
Oh my!
He did hit the 9, and you see it. It kept the cue ball.
Oh, he's going to go.
You don't think he played that? He didn't play to hit the 9 in the nose and then let the 9 come back and knock the ball in position. You don't think he played that?
It's quite possible, but then not
elementary.
I do believe Danny's being a little bit funny right now. I hope he is. Anyways, this is going to be difficult too, because he's going to have another hard, long shot on the 7. That's because he didn't end up with a good angle on the 6. It was just too flat to go across table, and it wasn't straight enough to come right back. But nevertheless,
piece of cake.
Yeah.
Okay, now folks, watch Keith's right arm, how he has it like out swinging to the right. You know what that's a result of? He started so young that he couldn't reach the table, and he had to stand with that kind of stance so he could hit the cue ball, and he kept it throughout his whole career.
Whoa, watch out.
No, never a doubt.
Well, anytime you use
Never a doubt.
anytime you use body English like that, you never scratch. That's game number 7.
Right,
McCready
right.
now comes to within 3 games of the lead, trailing in this match 5-2. And it looks like there's a little more step
Look
in
at
his
that
step.
face. Man, look at Keith. What a character he is. What a colorful character. I hope he lives forever and shows up at every tournament.
Let's take a look at the corner ball. See if he gets paid off with pocketing the corner ball on the break. That's the 5 ball this time. 897. The TPA.
It
for
was
Keith.
going. Something stopped it, so it
He's
went
going-
in the other
and
pocket.
he's going to get a shot.
Oh,
and the
yes.
2 ball was positioned very closely to the bottom right corner. All he'll need to do is stop on the after pocketing the 1, just stop the 2 ball somewhere in that area, and he has a nice shot on the 2, which carries a pretty good angle
Right.
to play shape for the 4.
Right. It's an automatic 2 or 3 rails to the 3. This is where you'd want to be with balls in this position if you could direct it.
He wants to hit
because it's
fairly
automatic.
high. Now,
Automatic.
hitting over there might not be any good because of the 4 ball.
Oh, he's okay. As long as he hit it hard enough to get past the ball, he's fine. That's a good shot, too. He quickly is getting back into this match. He
It does-
doesn't, yeah,
It doesn't take him long.
right. Not at all. Look at this. 1.5 strokes, wham.
5-2. He would have probably liked to have gone underneath the 7 with the other angle, but it certainly hasn't hurt him much. Drawing the cue ball straight back, playing position for the 9 in the same pocket. All right, 5-3.
The Keither, that's what they call him too, the Keither.
Yeah, this match definitely has a heartbeat now, Danny. From 4-0 to 5-1 to 5-3. This match is definitely alive now.
Look at Keith.
Now he's going to start talking to people because he's made his appearance and he's in position to do well because 4-0, you're feeling pretty bad. You're in your chair. There's nothing much you can do, while you watch the Kaiser run out. But now it's a different story. It's 5-3, and he definitely feels good about his position.
And I don't think Ralph finds anything humorous about Keith. Take a look at Ralph.
Well, I don't think
That's not-
Ralph's even thinking about Keith. He's such a composed man.
Right.
6 ball, the wing ball.
Okay, where's the 1 going? Oh, a little
The
kick.
5 ball hit the
A
1
little
ball.
kick for position?
and
Nope.
No cigar.
Oh, boy. 3 would have got out of the way.
McCready 921, very, very high TPA. And the Kaiser 949. This is a great match.
It sure is. See, this is another case where you can't push. You got to kick.
Excellent kick. Notice the position of the 1 and
Keith.
also the cue ball.
Keith, I think he got him. No, he left an edge. He's a little disgusted because he played the shot to snooker him totally.
But nevertheless, Danny, you have to feel from this position that Keith's still the favorite in this game. By leaving only the edge, he's really limiting what Souquet can do at the table. And from my vantage point, I don't really think he can do much.
No. No, he can, if he could hit the 1, I wouldn't. I'd still kick. Because the ball's liable to go behind the 8.
Excellent point, Danny. Excellent point. The kick is by far the best shot from this position.
Yeah, it stops the cue ball from traveling around. You cut a ball thin, it's going to fly around. But if you kick and hit that 1 ball a little full, the cue ball will go nowhere.
I definitely like the kick here.
Let's see what he does. No, he decided to hit it. I didn't like that. And
No, I didn't either.
He's going to get punished for it.
But fortunately for Souquet, the 1 ball was on the left side of the table, the cue ball to the left of it, and the 2 ball was positioned to the left of the 1. Position now becomes very, very
he
difficult.
He goes forward 2 rails.
Very
he
difficult.
Misses everything. No, this is perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't see
It's
that
not
as
well.
much as
It's
you know.
not that I didn't see it. It's very difficult to do that.
Of course, but like your other 1 ball shot, it was make the ball, the position came.
But you still have to hit the center of the pocket.
Of course you do.
Something that I've had a problem
that-
doing of lately.
Yeah. Yeah, you haven't, well, not too long, about 7 or 8 years you haven't hit a ball.
Oh. It wagged its tail.
No, no, no.
Brushed his feet.
It wiped its feet and fell in.
It wiped his feet and fell in.
Yeah. And he now has control of the cue ball and the game. And this is going to be an exciting match.
And now a little bit of theatrical work out there for Keith. There we go.
Can anyone here I wish he needs some chalk. He doesn't like that piece of chalk. He wants a different one. That one wasn't good either. He's going to accept this piece. And Carmine Sardo, whose brother invented the Sardo rack, was nice enough to run around and get Keith some chalk.
Position on the 8 off of the 7 should be exactly where the 7 is now. Then all we need to do is pocket the 8 and go cross table for position on the 9.
Perfect. See, this is what we call falling on the right side of the ball. If you would have got straight on the 8, forget about it. But he got the angle to where all he has to do is make the 8, cue ball goes in the right path. It better not freeze. Yeah, he got perfect, and I imagine we're going to have a 5-4. There he is. Remember what we were talking about? He went and pulled the rubber on the point. Now, is that legal? Remember we were talking about that last week? He ran over there and pulled the rubber point in so it doesn't enter the game. Oops.
Well, he should have pulled it further because he hit the point.
Yeah, yeah. He tried to pull the point away, but I see a lot of people do that. Don't they know that it's rubber and it's only going to come back when you pull it?
Well, I think that what's most important is if they believe it, then that's all that matters.
Yeah, well, and he must believe he left it in the way.
Yeah, he must believe he wasn't strong enough to pull this point back.
That's really not funny because he played so well, and now he missed the 9, and it's a 5-4 game. Instead, it's now 6-3. That is quite a difference.
Quite a difference.
Plus,
not only in score, momentum, and everything. Boom. Now Keith becomes very pressed, and Kaiser becomes very comfortable.
He's over there pointing at the point. Yeah, I don't know what he's saying, but the stinking point. Maybe he should have came with a little saw and cut the point right off.
And much to the displeasure of the crowd, too, I might add.
Look at Keith. Look at Keith.
They wanted to see a tight match, especially when Keith started coming back. And when Keith missed the 9, there was a lot of disappointment there for the people out there that are in attendance watching this match. Not that Kaiser is not a popular man. He's a very well-respected man, but they still want to see Keith tie it up, and they want to see an exciting finish because Keith is just such an entertaining player, particularly when the match is close.
And he got on the hill. Besides, he's 3 games ahead. He got on the hill, which means Keith has got to win 4 in a row. Tough, tough thing to do. Put a price on it, Billy. You come with good math.
Well,
what is the price to beat Ralf Souquet 4 in a row?
Well, it's probably a parlay minus the break vig.
Uh-huh. Well, we might not have to worry about it. I think you have to make it a little bit of more of a price right now.
Well, I'm not too sure about that. From the 1 to the 4 may be a problem. Notice the 4 ball is the next ball he has to pocket because he pocketed both the 2 and the 3 on the break. There may be a problem getting position on the 4 off of the 1. The angle that he has says he will go straight across table, but there's traffic there. And if he goes forward, he might come in too long for the 4.
You don't think he can roll this in and hold the ball enough?
I'd be surprised to see him even try that.
I think he's gonna. He has that kind of touch. You hit it low, slow, and a hair right-hand English, and just crawl it in. See? I thought he could, but anyway, he wound up here.
And this isn't easy either, because he can go cross table again, but he may end up going into the 7. And if he hits the 7, he could end up in the side pocket. So therefore, there is some things that can go wrong on this shot as well.
Well, tell me one thing, Billy.
He might be able to roll this because he's close to it.
Yeah. How come you didn't insult me there? That's not you today.
I don't ever insult you, Danny.
Okay.
You just interpret things that way. I don't. No, he's hit it a little bit too hard.
No, I think.
But he can still draw it.
He can draw it. I think he can go 2 rails, too. I think he can go forward, miss the 6, miss the pocket. He can draw it, of course, but I think it's natural to go 2 rails. Let's see what he does. No, he's going to draw the ball. He doesn't want to hit rails if he doesn't have to. Especially it wasn't as thin as it appeared at first.
Now, he would like to either end up straight in on the 7 or a slight angle cutting it to his left.
Right. That would be, again, falling on the right side of the ball. You see how important it is here? If he got the angle on the 7 that he has right now, he'd have a lot of work to do. But if he falls on the right side of the 7, then it automatically will go to the 8.
No, I don't like what he's doing here. He's drawing
it. Yeah, he better overdraw it.
I don't like that.
How do you like it now?
Because it's very difficult to control the speed of the cue ball drawing it opposed to going 1 cushion or 2 cushions. But in spite of that, look where he positioned the cue ball, ideally for the 7.
Yeah,
Great
it's
shot.
not so tough if you're Ralf Souquet.
No,
that's what he had in
true.
mind. He just stopped as good as you can. You know why it's as good? Because he's going to have an easy shot in the 8 and yet an angle where he can bounce off a little bit from the rail. You know, the only thing possibly can go wrong is if he was stuck right on the rail and had to shoot from the rail, and he's got a little angle for that. You see it? Very big.
Well, all in all, Danny, we've seen a pretty good match here. We've seen the ability of Ralf Souquet. He exhibited his skills, and we've seen a charge by McCready, falling a little short, but nonetheless a charge by McCready.
It was enough to be interesting, you know, because he was going to be 1 game away from tying it, and it just suddenly got away from him, but not enough to be a one-sided match. It was exciting.
Yes, and I think we're going to be doing an interview with the Kaiser, so we'll be back with Ralf Souquet in just a moment. We're with Ralf Souquet, the Kaiser, Europe's #1 player. Ralf, once again, another beautiful performance. What can I say? You know, you did it once again. But I'm going to ask you a question. You got out to an early 4-0 lead. Felt quite comfortable. Your TPA on our total performance average was very high, well above world-class speed. And then McCready started making his comeback. I'd like to ask you a question. I know you're a very reserved, confident, composed player. Did it rattle you or bother you at all to see some theatrics by McCready when he was at the table making that comeback?
First of all, thank you. That was the first time I've played him, actually, so I didn't know exactly how he was during a match. I mean, I've seen him, you know, quite often playing for money and here and there, but I've never played him before, so I didn't know, you know, what to expect really. So I just hoped that I get another chance back on the table, because when I was up 4-0, I had a little skid on the 1 ball to make it, you know, 5-zip, and it was an open table, and there I had a little, you know, was a little shaky about that I don't get another chance to get back to the table.
Well, anyways, the question I asked you, did it bother you? Evidently not, because your performance from that point on was superb. You finished out the match winning it 7-4, I believe it was. Wasn't that the final 7-4? 7-4, and you really look really good out there, Ralf. How do you feel about your game in general right now?
To be honest, right now I'm not in my prime time. I'm struggling a little bit within the last couple of months. So this tournament here, I came just to, you know, get back in stroke and see how I can do, because it's a new year. It's the first tournament of the year 2002. So I hope I can, you know, get back in stroke here, or at least for the upcoming tournaments, and we'll see what happens then.
Well, you were happy with your performance in this particular match, is that correct?
Absolutely. I did a pretty good job here, except, you know, 1 safety shot that I completely missed, but with the rest I was quite happy, quite satisfied.
Well, if you can sustain the caliber of play that we saw down there this evening for the remainder of the tournament, you're going to be very difficult to beat, Ralf.
Well, I mean, it's different playing on the TV table than on the other tables. First of all, the TV table, plays a little smoother than the rest of them. So if I would have had a chance to play on the TV table all the time, then I might have a pretty good chance to do really good. But probably next match will be on the regular table, and they play a little tougher. They are a little more worn out, and so let's see what happens.
I'm certainly sure you're going to respond well to the challenge like you always have. Anyways, thanks a lot for coming up and joining us here at Accu-Stats. Congratulations once again in your victory against Keith McCready, and good luck for the remainder of the tournament.
Thank you.
For you people out there that have supported Accu-Stats and have watched this tape, give Pat a call, 1-800-828-0397.